In this video, we have got a 100 plus kill game with the Christmas skin, Lewis gun, which I'll explain why that's unique in just a second. This is a bit of a delayed video because it was planned to be for Christmas. However, there was more priority videos to be uploaded. However, stick around. In this video, I'm going to explain, what is this Christmas skin? Why is it unique on the Lewis gun? What is good and bad about the Lewis gun? How I'm playing in this game in particular on Underground, and how to find, all the kills to be able to hit these 100 bombs, which I am doing. And if you do want to see the specializations I use on this gun, then do check out the playlist in the playlist section on my channel or on the homepage. So, what is so special about the Christmas skin on the Lewis gun? Well, as you can see, when I am aimed in, there is no back post on the iron sight, which gives you a very clear front post, and it's just very easy to look at, very easy to aim with, and that is essentially what the Christmas skin is, as well as having a very nice, beautiful, green, Christmas-like pattern. Now, as you can see, I am using it with the smaller magazine size of 47 rounds, rather than the larger magazine size, which goes up to 90 rounds. And that is because when you use the larger round magazine size, the sight is kind of messed up and you're aiming without no sight and it's completely invisible. So if you do want to see what that is like, then do just search up the Christmas skin Lewis gun on my channel or on YouTube and you will be able to see what that is like. But for the purpose of this video and using with this really clean sight, we have therefore got to go with the 47 round magazine size option. But what is very beneficial about going with the smaller magazine size is the accuracy and sort of recoil pattern, recoil control of using the Lewis gun is much easier. So you're going to see me hit a lot of headshots on people that are standing behind objects or leaning around corners on like a head glitch, because I'm much more accurate and able to do so when using the lower rounds specialization option. And if I was using the 90 round magazine option, I would therefore not be able to hit them off the head glitch as easy and probably would have died many more times throughout the course of this game. Now, there really aren't many negatives at all with the Lewis gun. You have got a bit of recoil when you have the higher magazine option, but again, you get an extra 45 rounds or so in the gun, so there's not really any negative there. The reload time is a bit slower than guns like the Bren or the Madzone, but again, you've got more rounds, so you're reloading less often, and it is still a pretty quick reload compared to some other guns in the game, which reload slower with less rounds, in the gun. And so the only key disadvantage in comparison to other guns like the Madzone or the Bren, if you're going to go with a 3x scope and try to play a bit more long range, is those other guns are going to be more accurate and therefore better at long range. This gun is more of a run and gun, or the defensive, holding off loads of enemies simply because of how many rounds it's got. But realistically, it doesn't go wrong in any area. Therefore, in terms of the advantages of a gun, which were already kind of explained alongside the disadvantages, are going to be its extremely high magazine size, the 97 round option being the largest magazine size possible of any gun in the game, which isn't an MMG, so therefore the largest magazine size on any gun which you can actually run around, run and gun and aim in with. Its fire rate is kind of in the middle. It's not the fastest, but it's not the slowest. This is therefore good because it means you can maintain a good sort of flow and good accuracy because of that medium fire rate, of which you're going to get more recoil on those faster fire rate guns such as the Bren or the FG42 in the support class. And therefore again, you can't go wrong with this gun in any way, and it's all advantages and one or two disadvantages, but those disadvantages which you do get, like going with the 47 round option or sort of slower reload amount, that you then make up for that in better accuracy. So there is nothing wrong with the Lewis gun. Moving on, in terms of Underground and how I'm finding the most amount of kills anytime I play on Underground, it is going to be around the center of the map under B flag, not as in under B flag here, but underneath the flag on the main level, underneath the staircases. As I've always said, that's kind of the main sort of mini power position or main power position on this map, whereby most of the enemies are always going to be running up the staircases onto B flag, and any enemies, once they've got B flag and are spawning there, are going to be running down off the staircases towards either of the spawn flags at A or C, and they won't be looking behind them, they won't be looking behind them to shoot you who is standing underneath the stairs, and therefore you get loads of free, easy kills. You don't have to go into gunfights, and that's just it's the easiest way to rack up as many kills as possible and to stay alive as long as possible on a map which is notoriously hard to spawn on your teammates, which keep getting cancelled. And this is why in many of the clips so far in this game, and for the rest of this video, you're going to see that I'm going to try standing close to the bottom of the stairs, but very rarely am I going to push all the way up the stairs, because I don't want to put myself in a situation where I'm going to die and then waste 2 or 3 minutes trying to respawn, and for the sake of just getting a quick clip of getting a few kills. It's better to stay alive longer and pick off those extra kills over a longer period of time, one at a time, rather than going for just 5 kills and just dying. To point out one thing which I am consistently doing when playing with a gun which isn't, your fast fire rate shotgun Type 2A ZK, which you can run around, run and gun with on Underground, you're going to see I am going to be using cover really well and a lot. I am going to die in a second when I do push out into the staircase, but for the most part in this video you're going to see me leaning well, always using cover, so that I am able to take on multiple enemies at a time. This map is so small and so close quarters, with all enemies pretty much in 1/3 of the map at any time, and so you're going to be encountering multiple enemies all the time. You need to be behind cover so that you can reload and to engage multiple enemies at a time, otherwise you're going to die. So for example here, where I'm leaning around the corner, I'm able to take out 3 or 4 enemies just because I'm doing that. If I pushed out in the middle of the doorway there, I probably would have had a 1-frame death. So that's the main thing here, making sure if you're not using a gun, which you realistically can run and gun around with, make sure you're always using cover on Underground. Make sure you're leaning so that you can stay alive longer and take on multiple enemies, especially if you're playing solo like I am and not playing with squad, where you can get loads of revives consistently and easily, and can therefore just run a gun recklessly with. So here in this clip, the enemies have got A and B flag. I'm pushed into the sort of windows here in between at my spawn flag of C and the middle of the map at B flag. My main goal here is, 1, to hold off the enemies as much as possible. I've got a gun with a high magazine size, so I can consistently fire and get loads of kills if I do stay here. However, you can see our team is pushing forward. The enemies aren't pushing forward as much, which is giving me a chance here to push right into a close quarters area, which is therefore not exposed to all the enemies in the windows mid-map. And I'm going to push right, specifically trying to get under the stairs, under B flag, so that I can shoot all the enemies that are going to spawn and push off of B flag towards my spawn flag of C. And that's kind of where I was going in this clip here. But that is essentially going to wrap up this video. There's 1 or 2 minutes left, which I'll let you guys watching without me constantly speaking over it. So please smash like if you've watched this far on this video, subscribe if you're not subscribed yet, and I will see you on the next video.